Okay, so we talked about when we have linear function, there are two forms, right? The first one is, sometimes people write like this, right? So what's that form? Huh? What's that? No. We know slope and we know what? Where is x1 and y? Where is x sub 1 and y sub 1? Point slope. Yeah. X sub 1, y sub 1. That's the point. This is slope. Okay. So the point slope. And if we know the y-intercept, we got y equals to mx minus what? Come from this. This point is what? 0b, right? Right. So x sub 1 is 0. And y sub 1? Huh?
B.
B. No numbers, okay. Has to do with symbols. So this is what? What's that form? Slope intercept. We know slope, we know the intercept. Okay. So we pretty much just focus on those two, okay? And then they also have something called, if you have some, remember this one, ax plus b equal to 0. What do we call that? What kind of equation is this? No? What kind of equation is this? Got it already? Anyone? Who said that? It's called linear equation. And the reason we say that the linear equation, because look at this part. The first part is what? That's a linear function, right? That's linear function. And where is this? What's, in terms of this, what's the relation between this and that? This is a linear equation. And we have linear function. What's this in relationship? When you look at the graph, what's that relationship? Not a perfect line, but you got the idea. So x plus b equal to 0 versus this. Now, this is a function, so x can take any value, right? And for each x, we got y. So they give us the xy coordinates, which if we graph on the xy coordinate, we get a line out of it, right? How about this one? In this case, what's our x here? Can x take any value?
No.
Why is that?
Because it has to equal 0.
It has to equal 0 because this has to be 2, right? So this actually is a fixed value. It just, we don't know yet. So that's why sometimes we call this unknown, right? I mean, x marked spot, right? It's unknown. In this case, x only have one value. But here, at the function, x can take any value in this domain. But here, only one fixed value. So where is that value? Okay. If you solve this, what you got? What's x?
Negative b
That's the value. But what is x?
0 minus b over...
Yeah, that's how you find it. But what does that mean here in terms of graph? Huh?
x-intercept?
X-intercept.
Oh, yeah.
So the linear equation is right here on the line, on point on the line. That's a linear equation. Ax plus b equals 0, and this is, right? This is a linear function. And the linear equation is right there. Okay, that's one point. Okay. So once we understand the relation between linear equation and the linear function, then we can understand what that means by linear inequality. Right? Linear equality is what?
It's not equal.
Is less than or equal or greater than, right? So if we have something like, say, 2x plus 3 is greater than 0, in this case, which is different from this, but they are related. Now, this is a linear function, and this is called linear inequality. So in this case, x can take any value in its domain, which is negative infinity, positive infinity, right? But about here, what's our x here? Can x take any value?
No.
No. And does x only have 1 or 2 values?
No.
No. X still have a lot of values. But it's what? It's a subset from here. Right? Right? So this x only take values from a subset of the domain of linear function. So if you don't graph it, actually it becomes 2 lines there. One is this line, another one is y equal to 0, right? So if we want to graph that, so 2x plus 3 is what? We know the slope 1, 2, 3. That's our y-intercept, right? And our slope is what? Is 2, right? So therefore, if we have run is 1, then run is 1, then run is 2. So we have another point, so we can graph it. Right? So this is our y equals 2x plus 3. Okay. And we have this point. This is what? This is our x-intercept, right? This point. This is our... So now we're looking at, for this line and this line, y equals 0 is our x-axis, right? Because our, what? Our slope is 0. Our y-intercept is also 0. So therefore, this is that. So this is same as y equals 0. It's a different way of doing it. And remember, now this y here is different. It's not just one value. Here means that no matter what x is, y is always 0. Right? So no matter where you take the x coordinate, y is always 0. So that sometimes got confusing because x, y, we use the same symbol, but sometimes means different things. Right? If in a function, our x is a variable, right? Take value from everything in the domain. But if we're looking into an equation, now our x is actually unknown. It's not a variable anymore. It does not change, but it's fixed. But once we get in here, now x it still take many values, but it's only on a subset now. So now we have 2 lines here. One is this, one is this. When we say this is greater than that, basically we're talking about 2 lines here, right? Between this and that, between this line and that. Right? Between this and that. So for 2x plus 3 greater than 0, that means what? From here on, this line is above this line. Right? So that's why here, for any x here, this y here is bigger than this y, right? This above that. So therefore, our solution for that is from here to there, right? But first we need to figure out this point. This point is what? Our x-intercept point, right? For this y, right? So that simply is what? We know is move this 3 over. So basically we're going to solve, in order to find the linear inequality, we have to figure out the function. Equation. We start with the equation. Because we want to find the x-intercept. So 2x equals negative 3, x is negative 3 over 2, right? So therefore, the solution for this will become x has to be greater than, right? Any x greater from that, this line is above that line, right? Are we good so far? Okay. Ask questions, okay? So therefore, that's our solution. This is one way to write it, or another way we write it, we become what? Become negative 3 over 2 and to this, right? Right? Everything to the right. So that's where we got this linear inequality. It's based on those, okay? And sometimes it's not like that. Sometimes could be, say, 2x plus 3 greater than 4. Then this line becomes moved up, right? This still this line, but 4 here, y equal to 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4. Will be here. Then this line. So therefore, our solution now becomes what? From this point on to the infinity, right? Right? Okay, we good on this one? Okay. So that's linear inequality. So if you understand this one, then there is a the way to solving it is we can start with 2x plus 3 greater than 0. You can solve that. What we have, we move this over, negative 3, right? If you subtract 3 on both sides, this inequality is still true, right? So that's where we can push this over. Then x greater than that. So that's only how we're solving it. But what that means is this, okay? And that's where when you are using graphing calculator, you can easily for you to find the answer, right? Okay, so now let's looking at the problem, what we have there. Anyone could problem this. Okay. First of all, let's go over. So the first problem is answer to the first problem. A. Second problem. B. Third. D. Huh? Sorry. Third. C. Third is C. Fourth. D or D? D. Okay. Fifth. C. Okay. Now 6. D. Okay. Let's see. Yep. Okay. Let's see. So this is when how we solving this one. Basically, this is a combination of two, right? Of two inequalities. If you want to look at it in this way, there's one way to look at graphically is this minus x, right? Right? We good on that one? So we're going to solve a little bit different from this, but this one just want to show how to look at it graphically. So there's one thing you need to learn is how to use a graphing calculator to help you. So if you look at it graphically, this is going to be our linear function. And this is another one, this is another one. So if you want to look at here, how do we graph this one? Where is our y-intercept? Half, right? So let's say if this is 1, this is half. What's our slope? Negative 1 here. So therefore, if half, this is half here. If we move another half, then it will be right here, right? So the slope will be 1. See that? Negative 1. If we do graph like this, right? This is 1. This is also 1. Right? So we can graph that. So that's why we know one point and the slope, and we graph it. So then we're going to have 7. So 1, 2 is kind of going up there. So just pretend that there's a 7 here, okay? I cannot graph that. So this is 7. So this is not a linear scale. And down here, this is negative 7. Right? Right? We good? So if we graphically, it's look like this, right? So therefore, they're asking what? The interval that this line has to be above this line, right? Because this line is greater than negative 7. So it will be from here downwards, right? So this is our point here. It'll be airflow downwards from here, right? We good on this one? Right? So because from this point on, this line is above this line. So that's what greater than is. Now have it less than or equal to 7. Where's less than or equal to 7? It's this point down, right? Go this way. So therefore what we have here is this interval. Right? So now, what's this? What's that? Now this point, because this interval now. This interval is to our solution. So only x within this interval, it will satisfy this inequality. Okay, so that's what it means, right? That's what inequality means. So now, how do we find this point and that point? Well, there's two ways of doing it. One is what? Multiply 7 on both sides, right? Right? Because when you multiply a positive number, the inequality stays. So that's one way to do it. Or you could just start from here. Negative x half. If we minus half on both sides, what do we got? Minus half on both sides. What do we got on this side? Negative 7 half. And less than minus x, right? Other side? 6 and. But now we have to do this, right? Negative here. Right? So we can either divide by negative 1 or multiply by negative 1 to make this to positive x, right? So if this one, negative 1 here, greater than negative 7.5, what is x has to be? When you multiply negative number, what happened to this? Switch. So x has to be what? Less than 7.5. So which means is this point, right? This is 7.5. Right? And how about the other one?
Negative 6.5.
This negative x has to be, what we got there? Has to be less than 6.5. Then we multiply negative 1 here, so x has to be what? Greater than or equal to negative 6.5, right? So remember, we follow the rules, okay? There's rules for the inequality. So when you multiply or divide by negative, you have to flip the inequality sign there. So what we got? Now this point then is what? Negative 6.5, right? That point. This is, if you want to write out the whole point, is this, right? So therefore, our answer is, anyone? Now you know. Now you can know for sure. What? D. Okay. Right. So when you do those problems, like when you take exam, the AP exams, you are allowed to use a graphing calculator. So you should be able to just graph it out. And actually, in this case, you don't have to do too much. once you bring out, you know it cannot be A, right? It cannot be C because this side has to go to negative, right? And so actually there is they made an error here because B and D the same, right?
Almost.
Yeah.
No.
Are they same?
No.
No. What's that?
Last bracket.
That's bracket.
The
Look at it. So this one is what? Greater than is this, right? And 7.5 has to be this, right? We know we just cannot include that because this we come from here. That's an inequality. Okay. We good on this one? We good on this one? When you do multiple problems, it's good to do the elimination. Okay. If you do multiple problems, you can easily take out A and C, right? The only thing you're looking at is between B and B. But you know you cannot be a B because B requires both equations on both sides, right? So it has to be D. So a lot of times when you do multiple problems, you don't have to go through the whole thing. You just get to the right answer right pretty quickly. And especially, you guys going to take ACT, right?
Yeah.
Are you going to take again?
No.
So the ACT problem is that the problem is not hard. You just don't have time for it. So knowing how to do it, multiple choices definitely help you to do it. To finish on time. All right. Let's look at 7 and 8. I think a lot of you have problem number 8. Anyone have a problem with 7? Okay, let's look at 7. So that's basically application of linear functions. 7 called what? Find the length of rectangular log with parameter 92 meters. So we know the whole thing. If you add the whole thing together, that's parameter is 92. And also tell us what? The length is 8 meters longer than the width. So in this case, what do we set as variable? Or what do we set as unknown? What's that?
Like equals A plus 1.
Well, this is our, this is the width, this is the length, right? So what we got, what? 2W plus L, right? This whole thing, 92. So W plus L is 46, right? Now, what they are asking for? What are they asking for? Huh? Length, right? So therefore, it's easier to set length as a variable. So if length is a variable, what's W? W is what? Right? Because the length is 8 meters longer than the width. So therefore, width is 8 meters short of the length, right? So you plug in here, you got what? L minus A plus L equals 46. And when we do that, it's 2L minus A equals 46. 2L equals, give you what? 54. So therefore, L is 27. So that's how we got there, right? So, do you know why I picked L as the unknown? The reason I picked that is because that's what they're asking for. So it's easy to make a mistake. If you pick W as the variable, you can find as unknown. You find L first. You can find the length, the width. But sometimes you forgot. You have to add A to get the length. You probably just stop there, right? So you write to what they're asking you for, then will help you. Okay? Help you to get to the right answer. Number 8. A lot of you has problem on this one. Number 8. So But in order to do that, you have to understand what it means, right? This is actually a typical problem. You can see that a lot either the chemistry or the math problems will give you this. So tell you that we got 4 liters of 4% silver iodide solutions. So we got to understand what it means by 4%. 4% is what? What does it mean here, 4%? Huh? 4% here is talking about, there is two things there, right? One is the solution, another one is what? Is the silver iodide, right? Right? And since we're talking about the volume, so basically talking about how much the iodide in considering whole solution. So iodide is only 4% of the whole solution, right? The solution is the whole, right? That's what it means by 4%. So whatever the silver iodide, only take 4% the volume of the whole solution. Okay. Now they want to mix up with 10% solution to get a 6% solution. That makes sense, right? 6% plus less than 6% will be less than 6%, right? If you already have 6% of solution, you put another more 6% into it, you're going to end up 6%, right? Nothing changed. But you use less, then that number will change. Okay. I think we'll get back tomorrow on this. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.